Good day, all. What a wonderful thought process and knowledge sharing session. So, as this is a beyond boundaries, I would like to share one of my experience where the government of India, under Ministry of Education, we have come up with a wonderful solution, and where we have reached the unknowns. So, as you all know, that 85% Indian citizens, their mother tongue is non-English. So they speak is various vernacular, beautiful Indian languages. So like Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Marathi, Gujarati, Bengali, Assami, Punjabi, Malayalam, etc., etc. So if you observe, the most of the educational content is in English. So don't you see there is, there is a disadvantage for these 85% people. And another problem is the school as well as the higher education content in English. So the parents or grandparents are not able to understand and explain that and share the knowledge with the students. So this is the gap what we have identified, and we try to solve that problem by giving some kind of a artificial intelligence deep learning tools. And as you all know, ChatGPT and various other GPT based applications has come up. What it means is, now you can interact with the systems, you can ask questions, and you can generate answers out of it. So it's a prompt based, right? So can we have a tool which not only translates the English content into Indian languages, at the same time Indian languages to Indian languages, and Indian languages to foreign languages? So you may ask, why we need this tool, because, we already have a couple of popular translation tools. So what happens is the English, where you have the content, right? It basically follows a SOV, subject, object, verb format. But Indian languages follow subject, verb, object format. So that's the reason when you try to translate using an existing translation tools, it doesn't translate properly. It breaks the sentence. The second one is Indian languages are more sentence based. So it's not a word by word based. So if you see any kind of a prompt based or a translator, it takes a word by word and it tries to translate. That's the reason it doesn't carry the context. So keeping this in mind, we have created a wonderful tool called Anuvadini. It's our Make in India tool, and trying to bridge the gap of the knowledge sharing. And at the same time, if you see the unemployability, right, because they are not able to understand, the student is dropping from the college or from school, or they are not able to get a better opportunities because they are not able to acquire the knowledge because of the language barrier. So that's where we worked out, and we created this wonderful tool. It has three extraordinary ingredients. The first ingredient is translation. It not only translates English to or any foreign language to Indian language to foreign language to foreign language also. So it is a combination of a translation tool of a SOV as well as SVO methodologies. And as you know, most of these translation tools need lots of data to be trained. I'm so happy to share that we have trained more than 120 million data with more than 300 plus sectors. Because if you see any existing translation tools, the biggest disadvantage they have is they basically take a generic dictionary and translate. But let's take a scenario, there is a legal document. So you need a legal dictionary and a legal glossary, right? So basically this Anuvadini has a custom legal dictionary and custom legal glossary appended to it. So when you are translating a document, system understands that it's a legal document and it translates, or you can manually select and you can translate. And at the same time, as I already mentioned earlier, it has a large learning model, at the same time small learning model also. Because we understood sometimes the large learning model is not best fit for this kind of an applications. So if you see the generic GPTs, right, those are a large learning models, because the nature of questions what it receives is completely different. But here the scope of the work is purely on the education and skilling, maybe in a various domains of education and skilling. So we concentrated and created a small learning models so that it can get trained much faster. because you don't need to invest billions of rupees to do it. With lesser infrastructure, with less amount of money, you can translate, with the efficiency. And as I mentioned earlier, another beautiful thing what we did for this Anuvadini is, we have trained this on a sentence basis, on a paragraph basis. So we started making it understand in a way that, it basically understands the entire sentence instead of understanding each and every word. Then we have picked up the various words by collecting the various data with permission of various ministries, and we started training all that to the model. And it understands the individual word as well as it understands the entire sentence. So beautiful Make in India product what we have created here. So I just, this is a few things. I mean, one, we have created a translator, but not only a translator with a rule engine. Because see, I come from a Telugu background. My mother tongue is Telugu. So if I need something in Telugu, the output, I don't know the numbers in Telugu. Because, we all know the Roman numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is a one case study I have taken. And then we created a rule engine on top of these translators. So the translation engine translates, before translates it, basically we appended a rule engine on top of it. This rule engine understands what to translate, what not to translate. Let's take a scenario. There's a word called computer. आप उसको हिंदी में क्या बोलेंगे, तेलुगु में क्या बोलेंगे, मराठी में क्या बोलेंगे. Instead of that, the best thing, we will have computer word, and within bracket we will have that Telugu or local Indianized word. So this is a beautiful combination we have recreated in this, which none of the other tools has. So what is happening is, here we are giving this tool in a way that everyone can understand in a 21st century. So that's one thing. Then slowly we move towards the other very interesting thing called images. Because as you know, if you translate it using any existing translation tools, it translates only the text. But here the Anuvadini not only translates the text, it translates with formatting. Let's say you have a table, you have a background color, you have a different font face, different font type, different font color, and you have a bulleted points, you have a centrally aligned image. It just Xerox copies and gives you in a Indian or any foreign languages. That's the beauty of this tool. And the next one, if you ask me, the images, if you take any image, right, in any translation tool, it just replicates as it is with the same language written on it. But we have created a beautiful thing which I would quickly like to demonstrate here. So if you see this, right, so Honorable Prime Minister talking about G20. So he is talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the entire world is our family. So now if you see, this image was generated using our generative AI. So he spoke in, the content is in English, and you will see this in various other Indian languages. So this tool not only have a capability of translating the text, because as text translation nowadays, it's little simple. But we have not only translating the text, we are translating the format of the entire book, we are translating the images also, and we are sticking it back to the same location. So the beauty of this tool is, it not only translates, it sticks back to the same location. But you may have some question that, maybe all translation may be 80 or 85% efficient. So how I can edit? The beautiful thing about this Anuvadini tool is, we have given an edit option on top of the image. So it's all like an onion layer based. You can simply select any layer at any point of time. You can select a word or a sentence and you can simply edit. So beautiful thing, end-to-end solution what we have created. So at the same time, as you know, there's a lot of things on the voice side, because voice again is a very, very important ingredient. And lot of people wants to speak, instead of typing, because in the mobile typing is little difficult. So how you will do it? What we did was, we have created a voice wrapper which basically allows you to speak for 45 minutes continuously. And the beauty of this voice wrapper is, it not only takes and translates that particular text, it takes the background images, background music, it takes everything together and it translates exactly as it is, and it sticks back to your video. So we have created this end-to-end solution, because most of the content type after 5G and 6G, it's going to be on a image as well as video based and a simulation based, like utilizing AR, VR, MVR and simulation technologies. So we can't have only a translation tool which translates only the plain text. So we need to have an advanced tool. So that's where we are focused, and we are created this simulation based. Let's say you have a PPT with an animation, right? So you can translate this entire PPT using Anuvadini tool with animations as it is, with the background you will have it, and it changes everything beautifully well crafted. So that kind of a masterpiece what we have created. But then the thought process went towards another angle. Like, what if you are creating a new book? Because till now I'm talking about existing data where you already have existing books of 500 pages, 1000 pages. You give it to the tool, the minute you do like this, it translates all 1000 pages as it is, including formatting in 13 Indian languages and 11 foreign languages. So what about the book which I'm going to write? Example, I just say a young chap, he is going to write a book on his experience. So now how we will do it? So we have created something called Chutki. Chutki means, the one of the character in Chota Bheem. So the minute you start writing on one side and you are copying the content with including the videos and photographs, and you can simply copy and paste it, and it just immediately auto translates everything on the other side of the page. So you are writing, let's say, in English, so it translates automatically in Hindi, in Telugu, in all languages. But there again another problem is typing. If you want to edit something, how you will edit? So I'm so happy to share that we have created our own virtual keyboard, where you can start typing in Hindi or Telugu or any Indian languages. It automatically transliterates everything, and you can copy and you can paste it on your on your editor. So I'm so happy to share another thing that we have created an online editor which has every capability of MS Word, so that you don't need to pay for MS Word to edit. You can straight away use our editor to edit everything, and it has an auto save feature, so that you can automatically save. So that's one thing. Then slowly, when we are interacting with various stakeholders, we understood another biggest problem in our country. Lot of citizens are illiterate. So how we can address them? Because when they are interacting with any web applications, the problem is most of the web applications either in English or in some cases in Hindi. So what about unpad admi, who is illiterate, who can't read and write? So how he can fill an application? So slowly Anuvadini become a generative AI now. So we have created a voice-based application where the system asks a question, they hear the question in their own language, and they answer in their own language. And as I mentioned earlier, we have created a voice wrapper. It has a capability of handling 45 minutes. They can speak on and on and on and on for 45 minutes. It captures everything instantly. The minute they stop button, instantly it captures everything in their own language, and it moves on and on. So you are not only filling the form in a very easiest form and in a very easiest way, and once you submit, imagine, the person submitted the information in Malayalam. So now I am as a user, end user or an administrator, I don't know Malayalam. So we have created a beautiful administration portal where I can simply select, the language in Telugu or Hindi or English. It instantly translates, the entire information to me in my language, which I know. I think, this is another beautiful thought process what we put in. Then slowly we understood, I think, lot of knowledge resides in YouTube. And that is in French, in German language, in Spanish, in Telugu, in Marathi, in Malayalam, various languages. Is there any way we can, help our students and faculty? What we did, we have taken this and we started downloading or, started reading all the videos and translating that videos into Indian languages and creating another YouTube video and putting it there. So that the learning, the knowledge sharing and the learning of the student and as well as the end user will increase. The one last but not least is that the beautiful thing what we created is generative AI, because what I observed is that the notebooks and the questions what we have, right? those questions are basically on a paragraph based questions. There is no contextual based questions. If you see any kind of a examination, if you see. So we have created Anuvadini generative AI tool, which basically takes a 500 pages of the document in any language. And it auto generates questions for you, and you can ask questions in your own language and it gives you the answer. So this kind of a auto generative AI what we have created. So recently we have given one extraordinary test series, like we have uploaded Kabir Das ji poetry in 500 pages of poetry, and we started asking questions in Telugu, Tamil, Marathi, Urdu, etc. So that and it responded back in Urdu. And we have taken so many videos, we have taken web pages, because what happens, you may have a 500 pages of book, and you need to write an exam. So it is very important to have a summarization, and automatically system summarizes and gives you a question and answers for you, right? So this is a quick bite learning. That's again another beautiful thing what we have done. And then we slowly started creating so many use cases out of it, like government based applications, and you can speak, you can ask any question about any kind of a government based scheme, it replies back. And then we slowly started creating a messenger, which we are supposed to release very soon. In this messenger, what you can do is, let's say there is a group of messaging, and we all speak various languages. I speak in Telugu, but you will listen that in your own mother language. And you will speak in Punjabi, I will listen that in Telugu, including the video. So such a advanced options what we are creating. The thought process here is to make sure that we give a high quality content, and with a super speed. I mean, the minute you do like this, right, it runs like a very super fast, like a bullet train. At the same time, we make sure that every citizen of this country will get an equal opportunity by reading the content in their local language. I thank everyone for listening, patient listening, and I request everyone to utilize this Anuvadini tool. Thank you very much.